Alright, so tonight we are beginning episode 1 of Rise of the Sovereign, our new campaign, 5th edition, and we are going to be, we will eventually have 3 players, tonight we have 2, and we're going to be all playing new subclasses from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And we'll be beginning at level 3 for all of our characters, so that way we can immediately see the new subclasses in action. We have already done a prologue game with Danny's character, Vimic, the Goliath Rune Knight, which is on our YouTube channel now. But if you didn't watch it, you don't have to watch that. That's just like kind of an intro. But the actual meat of the story will begin tonight as Vimic, the Goliath Rune Knight, is traveling south from the spine of the world far to the north of Neverwinter, and he has now traveled to this small village of Undercliff, which is just in the shadows of Waterdeep. And that is where we are going to pick up tonight, as we are going to be heading to Waterdeep, but also mainly we're going to be spending all night in the town of Undercliff, which is where our game will begin. So the picture we have up front is going to be Waterdeep, and then we are going to dive in and move over to the little village nestled just next door of Undercliff. So the little village of Undercliff, you can see in the distance, you can see the big walls and the big towers of Waterdeep, and this village lives just outside of it, and has been here as long as the city has been. It is grown up around the big metropolis of Waterdeep, and there are several families that are well known in this village. The 2 families that we're going to be talking about first will be the Snow Beetle family, the family of halflings that run the tavern. It's called Beetles, and it is also a very well-known and renowned meadery. And they actually export their mead across all the major cities with the help of another family that is well known here, and that is the Hathamore family. Now, the Hathamore family, they have a giant manor just outside of town, and their family is a very wealthy, well-to-do businessman, and it is led by Mr. Miles Hathamore. Now, Miles his family is born and raised in the area, and his generations go back. He has been a Waterdavian. He's also lived outside, but this has been the family keep for as long as anyone can remember, and it is nestled just on the outside, kind of overlooking the town of Undercliff, and that is where our story will begin. We're going to begin actually in the manor of the Hathamore estate. As we're going from room to room, you see different servants walking about. They're preparing dinner. You see Miles Hathamore walking in, and elderly human, probably in his 50s, wearing regal robes, and he's walking to the table and getting some things together. It seems that they have a light dinner. They've got wine, and they're actually preparing for the festivities of what today is. Now, today in the Faerunian calendar is a really big day. It's Fae Day. It's the one day of year that they celebrate the Fae, and it's said that this is the day that that the Fae world and the mortal world, they kind of come really close together, and it's a day that, you know, the butterflies and the fairies are out, and there's big festivals and parties. People run around in costumes. It's kind of like the Faerunian Halloween, and that is the day that is today. It is Fae Day, and it is in the 3rd month of the calendar year. Now, it is still it's still cold out. There's a little bit of a wet drizzle. It's like that sleet rain you get. But as people are walking around Undercliff, we see all these people getting ready for the big festivities. They've got the big flowers and arrangements up. Everything is very beautiful, and it's like getting ready. It's also like spring. So we were talking about the big spring equinox, which is actually tonight. And it's the day, like I said, that the mortal world and the Fey world, they come very close together and they almost touch. And it's a tradition that's gone back centuries. It's the day that all that the wood folk come together and celebrate, and there's just giant feast everywhere. Also, notably in Waterdeep itself, they actually the nobles open up the gates to the inner court and let the all the common folk in to celebrate and feast and wine and merriment. It's just a big day. It's a big day, and this is the evening of that. As we open up the doors of the Hathamore Manors, we look in, we see Miles preparing for his evening meal. You see servants moving about. You also see a dwarf following just behind Miles Hathamore, and that dwarf is going to be played by Laz. Now, Laz, what does your dwarf look like? Can I explain him to me?
Sure, he stands a little more posh than you would think your typical dwarf, and there's a very subtle like bluish hue to his skin, which is a little bit odd. But otherwise, it's what you would typically think of as a dwarf. Is the light brown hair and a fairly short beard by dwarven standards, but bushy for the common folk for the rest of them.
And
Kind of a short.
And what is your dwarf's name?
His name is Lorix.
Lorix. And Lorix, you are employed by the Hathamore family. You serve Miles. He's been a very generous employer. You actually live in the estate of the Hathamores, and that you've come to enjoy your time here. Before, life was hard. Now life is pretty easy. There's always food, there's always coin, there's always things to do, and you've kind of enjoyed. He gives you a certain freedom, but you also know that he has a lot of dealings with a lot of people. You seem to always be sending out. He sends you a lot to Waterdeep to deliver messages and things of that nature. Now, he's a businessman. He's a tailor by trade, and he deals in very high-end clothing. So a lot of times what will happen is that you'll kind of accompany a delivery to Waterdeep, and he also has messages to give out to random folk in town who you've kind of gotten to know. These random people, but it always seems kind of odd, all these little messages. And it's over the several months that you've kind of figured out that he kind of runs seems like a guild, and you've heard him in passing mention something called the Sovereign. So you know that he has some type of tie-in with the Sovereign Guild, and that he may actually be pretty high up in it, as he's always kind of orchestrating these messages, but you're really kind of unsure exactly what it is, outside of maybe just a secret club of noble rich people.
And I will say that Lorix is obviously more comfortable doing this than he ever has been in his life. Like it's pretty luxurious to be living in this kind of estate, but at the same time, he still has this kind of begrudging manner to him. Like he thinks he could be doing a little better.
Right.
Yeah, it's comfortable and all, but he still has to carry these messages for this guy. And sure, he treats him nice, but he's still kind of feels like a lackey sometimes. So probably doesn't appreciate the position that he has as much as he probably should.
Right. I hear you. So, and you've enjoyed your time in the Undercliff. You've enjoyed your position, and you've got to. It's a comfortable life. It's a very comfortable life. All your years leading up to this point, you're always struggling to kind of figure out.
Oh yeah, it beats the hell out of fishing. I'll tell you that much. It beats the hell out of fishing.
So
I'd still rather be Miles, though. I'd rather have my feet up on a cushion somewhere, as if Miles doesn't work like all day long.
Right. And we'll get to that. All right. So he seems to be very excited. He's invited. Now, he has a very close friend, a confidant named Saradwin. Now, Saradwin is an elderly elven lady, and she works as like his right hand in all of the normal business day affairs. And these are the two people that are interacting a lot, and they're talking a lot about Fayday and the importance it is. And particularly, they seem to be talking and asking, do you think anyone will answer the call? And this perks your ears. You don't know call, and you assume maybe you're talking about the messages that you've been giving out. And you see Miles, he looks over at you, Lorix, and says, Lorix, be a good lad. Come here, please.
Yes, what is it? What is it?
Yes, I believe we are expecting a guest tonight. Now, if
A guest.
yes, if Sarah Dwin is correct, and you know how she sees things, we should be expecting a guest. Now, I just had a thought, and I wanted to make sure there was no strange, funny business, but I believe we are expecting a very mighty guest tonight. Now, your people, dwarves, do you have any problem with giant folk, Goliath?
No, I've never had any issue with them directly.
Well, I know there's a sordid
I've-
history with giants and dwarves.
Oh, sure. I mean, they're violent people, giants, but it's really whatever interactions you have with them as a society. Like sometimes, often nowadays, sometimes we have trade with them. I suppose. No, I don't hold any personal ill will towards them. Whatever they've done to my people.
Oh, I see. And he looks over and goes, now, Sarah Dwin, when is it time? And you see this elf, she pulls this orb out, and she goes, yes, he's in town. He's making his way here now. We should tell the gods to expect him.
Very well.
All right. With that, one of the handmaidens here, there's two. There's Joan and Eva, and they're both human, mid-aged. They're running around, and they go and tell some of the manor guard. They keep a few people here, just 10 of them. But they're more like stable hands than anything. That to open the gate. As soon as you do that, you hear Joan like exhale, like, and you like this gasp. And everyone looks, and Riley goes, "Oh, he must be here." And as the doors open, you see outside the gate. Let me kind of give you a shot, an overview of the manor itself here. All right, so here's the manor itself, and as this walkway comes up, you see this massive Goliath walking up toward to the manor, like inside the courtyard. You'll see like a stable off to the right on the map here. He's like walking past that as he's walking forward. Now, Danny is playing the Goliath. Now, this is Vimic, and just describe yourself.
Very tall Goliath. I could only find a couple of pictures to look at, which are mostly in the book. So we'll just go with that. We're kind of bald, with the cool Rune Knight. I guess they're very rare. They don't really venture out from their mountainous homes much.
What is you said the cool?
Oh, they have
like markings on the face, or like cool, like a goatee, like a sweet goatee or something.
He's a baby face.
Okay.
But they have
Gotcha.
kind of swirl patterns on them and stuff like
Now,
that.
what are you wearing?
Oh,
like
okay,
you just came. You have been traveling for like weeks to get to this, and through talking to people in town, you knew you were looking for this Miles Hathamore. They all knew who you were talking about, and they pointed you in this direction. So you've made your way through. Now, did you follow? Now, we didn't discuss this. Did you come by boat, or did you come by? Did you travel through caravan? How did you decide you traveled?
Well, caravan. Since he's never been on the, I think he'd be kind of okay with on land.
All right, so you've spent weeks traveling, like maybe months, from where you were going and winding down and get to Waterdeep. You have traveled, and as you walk up, they all seem to know the exact moment that you were going to walk in. Like all of the stable hands, and goes, oh, sir, and you're looking at all these little short humans, and they all seem to be expecting you. And with that, the door opens up, and you see this handmaiden sitting there, this human handmaiden, looking over, and she goes, and she looks and goes, "Please, sir, please. Now, what are you carrying on you exactly?"
I got a long sword on the side. I got a couple hand axes stowed, and a huge hammer.
All right, so you're, oh, sir, and Eva looks over at Lorix and goes, "Lorix, he's very armed. Could you help with that? I don't believe that's appropriate."
Of course. You want me to take? Yes, and I'll march up to the Goliath, and as I get closer and closer, just craning my neck more and more. You're a big fella, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Hello there.
I'm sorry, but we can't have any weapons in the presence of Miles Hathamore. You understand?
No.
No. It kind of looked
No, I
back
don't
to
understand.
Sarah
Will make
Dwayne,
you
and
feel
kind of.
Where should I stow them?
We have a place we can stow them. It's a little more than a coat closet, of course, but. And I take him off into kind of the side room, and it's not an armory per se, but it's no coat closet. There's like a nice place for him to put up his weapons and stuff, and servants are scurrying around to help him feel comfortable.
Is Miles Hathamore? Are you Miles?
No, I am Lorix. I'm but a servant of Miles, so to speak.
Okay. I come bearing
You're,
the flame of the giant's maw.
That means nothing.
flame. Yes. No, it doesn't mean anything at all. Whatever this flame of the giant's moth is. Sure. Anyway, the weapons, and let's.
Take him off. Put him on.
All right, so you
down.
set your weapons down. Now you walk in. The gift that you're bringing, you have in your satchel. You come in. Now, as you come in, this is the main hall here. And I'm pinging here on the map. You walk in. You see a very stately manor. You see this very nice, oaken circular table with these chairs. You see several bookshelves. You see the massive tapestries. You've never seen anything like this. Like, the tapestries on the walls are just immaculate. There's also this massive statue of what looks like some type of warrior or something in the corner, holding this giant sword, this action pose. And it's like this marble statue. I mean, you're looking around like, this place is very nice. And now you had to kind of duck in to get in, but once you stood up, the roof was tall enough for you to be able to kind of walk in, or the ceiling. So you're looking around at this massive place, and now the handmaidens are all kind of like standing back, kind of staying away from you as you're walking and kind of making your presence. So in the room right now, you look around and you see the two handmaidens, you see some very elderly elf, and you see a very regal looking human, hair kind of pulled back, shoulder length. He smells like some type of perfume. Just very, like, you look at them, he's like, this is the man in charge. And
hey, Trevor, to sidetrack you, I wasn't paying attention to the map. Where did we put like his weapons? Did we put them in like the kitchen? Like, we put them in here or something?
We'll just say there's a little closet here. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. There's a little make do closet right there. So it's like there's like the broom and his maul. All right.
Giant maul.
The giant maul, right. All right, so totally fine. All right, so for the record, your weapons are there. All right. So you walk in to and you see, like I said, this elderly man, not elderly, probably 60 or so, look up at you. He's got, rings and like this long necklace on that's like, very not gaudy. You can just tell this man has wealth and power. And he looks up and he goes, Master Goliath, we've been expecting you.
Yes. Master Hathamore, I take it.
Yes. I see you answered the call. You heard our call.
Yeah. The Valanavi tribe has retrieved the flame of the giant's maw.
You did?
For the song.
It exists? You found it?
It exists.
He gets all excited, and you see Saradwin like walk up next to him and like grab his hand. He goes, "It's true. It's all true." He goes, "Yes. Please, sir, do you have it with you?"
Yeah, I'll retrieve one out of there.
All right, so the way that you've got it fastened is when you pull it out, you've basically got like this. You created this before you came. Like this, it's basically like an iron torch. And all of these phoenix feathers are kind of stuck into it like a bouquet. And when you pull it out of the bag, they are inflamed as you're holding it. All these phoenix feathers are just inflamed. It comes out of your bag that magically didn't incinerate. And now you're holding it, and in bewilderment, Miles and Saradwin are looking up just like, it's true. It's happening. It's happening. The sovereign. And as soon as Miles says sovereign, Ceridwen stops, like reaches over and puts her hand over his mouth. He goes, shh. And she looks about and she looks over at the two handmaidens and she kind of points them away and they leave and they close all of the doors. And with that, Ceridwen starts reciting some type of incantation. Not quite sure what it is. And as she finishes that, there's like this little haze that falls over the room, and she looks over Miles and goes, "It is safe. We can talk now." And with that, Miles looks over at Lorix and goes, "Lorix, sir, would you please have a seat? And Master Vimic, would you, I may be uncomfortable, would you please find a seat as well and let us have dinner?"
Oh, sure. What is all this? And I kind of just shuffle into my chair.
All right, so you sit down. There's wine at the table. They've got this giant roast boar that's already pulled out. There's all this intricate floral arrangements all around the table and everything. Now, Vimic, you know that this is a stately, but why in the world do they have so many flowers on the inside? It's kind of weird. Lorix, this is all decoration for Fayday. This is not normal. This is all the
okay,
like,
gotcha.
it's like the garland put up for the holidays, and Vimic's like,
Sure.
why you have all these strange? So it's kind of, it's just a different setting. And as they sit down and they break bread, Miles looks over and goes, "Yes, well, I know you've traveled very far, Vimic, Volanavi, is that correct?"
Yes.
Oh, so you'll understand. I am the last of the court of the sovereign. I have others that are with me, but I am the last of that kin. And it was a dynasty that thousands of years ago ruled Waterdeep and ruled Faerun, and it was prophesied that at some point they would return to power. Now, no one ever believed it, and I didn't know as a child if it was true or not, until one of my men found, and he pulls out this horn, and on the side of this horn, there's this old, like, writing etched on the side of it. And he goes, "This was uncovered deep in the underwater deep, and in Elvish, it states Beravan, and that is the name of the dynasty. Well, we knew it was magical. It was some type of summoning, so we blew it about a month or so ago. And we looked, and Ceridwen here, she has a way of the arcane, saw that it was the call was heard, and we've been watching with great patience as you've made your way all the way here."
Yes. So this horn has
Go
called... The horn has called this Goliath.
Well,
house.
the legend says that the horn would call the Oathsworn. Years ago, when this dynasty, this king was on, several lines of kings, there were several people that were in allegiance to him, that had sworn fealty to him. And it was said that this horn would, in their time of need, that they would answer the call to aid the king. We didn't know if anyone would still hold true to this, and this Goliath, this clan from the far north, has answered the call.
So he is the first of the Oathsworn.
Hopefully not the last, but it's the only one that we've seen so far. Now, this that you brought us, this is in our research. This is maybe a way for us to, dare I say, bring back the dynasty.
How do the pinions of a blue phoenix bring back a dynasty?
I don't know. But this is what was spoken of. We have these ancient documents that are passed down, but they're rewritten in revisions, and we didn't know what was true and what was fable, what was legend. But you being here is proof that at least part of the story is true.
Yes, the only two of my tribe that seem to have know what the sovereign was. They were two very older ones very high stature in the tribe, and even they knew very little. So it seems as if we were both on the same page here.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. And Saradwin speaks in and goes, "You said that your tribe had knew about this oath. Did they tell you anything else about it?"
Not much. Just they said they had to answer the call of the oath sworn.
That's interesting.
We had a grand competition.
And Miles looks over and goes, "Well, I believe it is coming time that maybe you're here to help with the prophecy, to bring back the Beravan dynasty.
Okay.
Now, we must keep this in secret, for the Lords of Waterdeep would do us in if they knew we were trying to change things."
Of course.
So,
Right.
secrecy, you never let anyone know what our meaning is, but I'm just curious how these things will play out.
So, are you, Master Hathamore, and you, Mistress Saradwin, part of the Sovereign? Do you...
Oh, well, the Hathamore family was part of the Sovereign ages and ages ago, and it's just been passed down through family tradition forever. It's just been part of our lineage. You see, I may look all human, but a very small part of me, I believe, is elvish. And that elvish blood, long time ago, we were. Family tree says that we were half elves, part human and elf, and that bloodline over generations and generations is. Now I'm mainly just human with, I'd like to believe, just a speck of elvish. And Saradwin, who is like a full-on half-elf, full-on high-elf, sorry, kind of like looks and goes, maybe. And you sense like a little bit of, we're going to let that slide. You know, like Saradwin's not 100% sure that what he just said is true at all, but she's just like, we'll humor him. You got a sense like, yeah, we'll let that slide. He goes, well, now I have to ask, Lorix, what say you of these things?
My question is, well, now that this oath sworn is here, what do we do with it? Is there some other action that we should take based on these texts that you've been reading, or do we wait and see what happens next?
Well, I mean, there are some old runes near here. We thought maybe we should go back and look again. It's the last remnants of... The city has been built and rebuilt over centuries and centuries and centuries, and the oldest part of that is just not... is close to here, actually. Maybe we could... I don't know, maybe take the flame there. I'm not sure.
But I suppose that's as good a plan as any. We can...
I don't know.
Set Vimic up with some rooms for the night and let him get some rest from traveling, and perhaps tomorrow head into the ruins.
Saradwin looks over and goes, or perhaps we should summon your nephew. He's been studying in Waterdeep, and hopefully maybe from the Emerald Enclave that he's been studying with, maybe they would know something. And he looks and goes, Miles goes, yes, that's a good idea. We should call my nephew. He may know some things. He claps his hand, and you see what the handmaidens appear, and he looks over and goes, yes, not you, Joan. Yes, Joan. Would you first morning? I know it's night and Fayday and everything, but first light tomorrow, would you go to Waterdeep and fetch my nephew and tell him it's very important? But tonight we shall feast, enjoy the festivities, and I believe the procession of Undercliff will begin shortly, and we can enjoy these things. But I warn you, once we leave this protective space, do not speak of the Sovereign unless very delicately. We don't want... The Sovereign in the past had many enemies, and we don't know if those enemies still are aware.
If it is runes, it's fortuitous because I know a little bit about runes.
No,
I
no,
might be
no,
able to
not,
give some
not,
insight.
no, I'm sorry. The dialect is off. Ruins. Ruins, not runes.
Ruin.
Sorry.
In that
I'm from
case,
southern
and you,
Underhill, and my dialect is a little off.
it's roots.
I'm from the southern part of Undercliff, and we have a little bit of a southern twang we have to get through now. All right, so with that,
Them runes. Wow, you search them runes.
all right, and with that, several of the Eva comes in and refills the wine. You'll have this amazing meal, and just drinking, and they ask Miles, Vimic, you're the star of the show. They're like, so tell us how did you tell us of your travels and your adventures. And at this point, they just want to kind of get to know you. It's a chance for you to kind of regale them of your legendary status, as it were. And so, what exactly do you want to tell them? Truth or not?
Oh yeah. We're competitive people. We're very proud of our accomplishments.
How much are those accomplishments being embellished, though?
No, fair play. Must tell the truth. Tell the truth. I might embellish a few things,
Okay.
and I'll recount the story of climbing the mountain and the Yeti and the Phoenix.
All right, so you tell the story of besting the Yeti and downing the Phoenix, and then traveling over the frozen waste to bring this prize and answer the call of the Oathsworn. And you guys are just drinking, having a great meal. Everything seems to be going, well. There's lots of festivities. You can hear a lot of merriment happening down because the way this manor is, it kind of overlooks the village. And you can just kind of, hear a lot of merriment. From where you're at, there's no windows or anything, but you can hear it. It's kind of spilling off into the streets. And as y'all are sitting there drinking and everything, Vimic, you look around and you sense something odd in the air itself. And you kind of catch wind of something as you kind of like turn your head. As you do that, Lorix, you're drinking, you're pulling it down, you're kind of like brushing some of the wine off of your beard, and you look down, and some of the garland that's on the table, like part of the arrangement in the center of it, you look at the flowers in it, and they all just immediately wilt. And you kind of look at the wine, look again, but yeah, and as you look around, all of the floral arrangements in the room have wilted.
Do I sense anything? Can I take like an Arcana check?
You may certainly try.
I may certainly try. Here we go. 16.
16, yes. You feel magic in the air, and with that, you sense this is strange magic. This is fey magic.
Seem
Fey.
malevolent.
You can't tell, but you know it is. You sense has a sweet smell to it, and that you kind of catch a whiff of it. There's definitely something in the air that's wrong, and it goes from sweet, and then you catch this ripe smell in the air, like. Ooh. But it's different. It's different than like a smell itself. It's more like you're smelling like ozone, like burnt. Right. But you kind of smell like something. There's definitely something magical happening in the air as you're
people. Can I'll quickly tell the room just something's off about this. There's something mystical. And then I get cut off by whatever else is about. All right,
so you say something mystical, and Saradwin immediately reaches out and stands at the table, and she like flips her hand like this, and the staff comes into her hand, and she puts her other hand like on Miles, looking about, and says, "We best retreat." As this is happening, Vimic, what are you doing?
I'm going to say, can you do that with my weapons?
He goes,
It doesn't work.
Yeah, when he does that, I run off and I go get his maul.
All right, so you're looking for it.
Dragged across.
Right. You're looking for it. You run. All right, so at this point, Lorix, you have left the dining room. You're running over to the closet to get the man his maul. With that, Vimic, you're like, that did not work. This was strange magic. And as you are trying to do that, you look over and Saradwin puts her hand on Miles, and they leave the room to go. Looks like they're going upstairs or going up to the second level of the manor. So they leave. So you kind of sitting there. You've still got your goblet in hand, looking for your maul. You look for that strange dwarf over your shoulder. As that happens, you Lorix are running up and you grab the maul. Now the doors are open, and as you're holding the maul, you look over and you see out of the corner of your eye one of the stablemen fly through the air from this direction all the way over to and just land like dead slide across. And the merriment in the street quickly turns to screams and panic of something is happening outside.
I shut the doors.
You go and you shut the doors. So you've got the maul and you just go and close the doors. Okay. Are you going to try to bar the doors? What are you going to do?
Yeah. I'm going to take that broom that was in the closet next to the maul.
Okay.
And stick it between the handles.
All right. Yeah. So with that now, Vimic, you hear the screams happening outside. Now, what do you want to do?
I'll make my way over towards him and, get the maul from him. I kind of feel bad for him, trying to drag the maul.
Okay,
and
so hand me that.
Yeah. Like, what is going on?
All right, so you run over.
Where did
Sorry, I wasn't plugged in. Laptop almost died on me.
Okay. All right, so Vimic goes and gets the maul. So y'all are both now together here. Let me get your tokens. So we have Lorix, who's way too big. We have Lorix. And then we have Vimic, who's also going to be way too big. So we'll make it the appropriate size. Should have done that before. All right. So this is where y'all both are. So y'all both run over. You see he's got the broom in the door. Your maul is sitting next to, he's basically propped it up against the wall. From outside, you can hear screaming happening on the other side. You hear somebody say, "Run away from the beast! Run away from the beast!" So, what do you want to do?
Your microphone cut out for me.
Yeah,
what were they screaming?
They're saying, "Get away from the beast! Get away from the beast!"
Oh. I wasn't sure if that was for effect, where you're turning it off. Oh, we only caught half of it. I said, get away from something.
Now, I'm not familiar with Fayday, but I interpret this as being pretty not common. Am I correct?
No, not anything that I've experienced.
All right.
I should probably grab my sword as well.
Yes. Let's go see what this is.
Very well. And Lorix, his entire body starts to shimmer and turns into a watery outline of where he was, and just water kind of bursts, and it sucks up into a puddle when all that's left lying there is just a ring on the floor. And then the water comes back out and it starts to coalesce again into this dwarven-shaped creature. And when it forms again, he's holding a great sword.
That is amazing. All right, so you pull yourself into the ring. The ring drops to the ground. You come back out with your giant sword. Awesome. All right, so Lorix has come out of literally nowhere with his giant sword. Is it glowing a little bit? Wearing his half plate, and now, what are you gonna do? What are you doing, Vimic?
My friend, was that Faye as well?
Not Faye, something else entirely.
Okay.
You'll get a taste of it when we
But it was
tackle this
expected,
beast.
yes? Okay. Just making sure. I won't begrudge you your body changing.
Thank you.
Yes. Right. Are there any windows?
Not in this room, no. All you're looking at right now is basically like the slit of the door. Because the door is kind of
Gotcha.
ajar with the thing. Like you can kind of see in between it's a little bit.
Do we see anything out there?
Gotcha.
There's a bonfire they had set up here. That's the light that you're seeing. As you look around, you see a body laying here.
Oh, there's more map. I see. Your call, Vimic. We can go out there and face whatever it is, or we can hide.
Oh, no. No hiding.
No hiding.
No. The master did hide.
Very well.
With it.
After you. And I pull the broomstick out.
All
Kind
right.
of use it to push the door open a little bit.
I'll first, like, just cautiously looking if
Okay.
I can find anything.
All right. So as the doors open and flicker, you see this body laying there, kind of moving about. Doesn't look dead. He is conscious. He's just kind of like laying about. You look out. You hear something happening over towards the stable, and you hear screams and another body drop, and you hear what sounds to be some type of roar, almost like a lion. Or something like that. Like a big mountain lion is what it sounds like. You know, you've heard something similar to this up in the mountains,
Sure.
kind of echoing through. So it sounds like a big lion. All right, so
All right.
Vimic, you're first. So you step out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check on the man if he's right next to me. The injured one.
You go up and you look down at him. So you've got maul in hand. You look down and you see him laying on the ground. As soon as you do that, you hear a roar and you look over behind you, and in the darkness you can see there's a big shadow here that something is moving here. Now, as soon as you do that, what are you doing, Lorix?
I'm going to take a step out. Well, I'm still kind of staying behind him. I can't control my token.
Oh, you're right. I didn't do that right. All right, so, let me do it over here. Hang on.
Yeah.
Party members. Hang on. Edit. Can be edited and controlled by Lorix.
Oh, well, thank you. Do I notice the same thing in the corner, or do I not
You
notice
definitely
that yet?
hear it. You hear it. You hear it as well.
But I see nothing.
Give me a
Then I just
perception check.
we are playing D&D, huh?
Yeah.
That is going to be an 11.
You're not very perceptive. There is something over there in the darkness, growling at you.
Vimic, there's something over there in the darkness growling at us.
Vimic, give me a perception check.
All right.
You should probably go check that out.
Ooh, +2. Okay. 19.
All right. As you go and look into the darkness over here, you kind of catch something like this breeze against your head. You quickly snap to and realize that there is a second one behind you. And you see you see this giant black cat kind of lurch back into the darkness, not making a sound. You just saw it out of the corner of your eye. So there's one here. Now, with that, let's all roll initiative.
All right. I'll be going first.
Holy crap, Vimic is going first. Yes. Okay, you're both going to be going.
Nice.
All right, so what we're going to do, let me go ahead and get out the turn order. Let's give out some turns here. Add, and then I'll add the other ones that just revealed. All right, so our little dwarven friend here, what are you going at?
An 18.
Wow. And then we got a natty for the giant. All right, so Vimic, what do you want to do?
I hear this one, so it's the immediate threat, and I'm gonna make my way up to the shadows and see if I can see it.
Okay. All right, so that's your move action. So you're going to move up to the shadows. As soon as you turn the corner, you do see this thing like lurch down behind you.
Okay.
Hang on, or not behind you, but in front of you. Sorry, hang on. Where is my library? You see this massive cat, this beast. Let me now what you're seeing is this giant black cat. As soon as you turn the corner, as soon as he knows it sees you, its eyes light up and there's just like this like green energy coming out of its eyes. You see these giant tentacles come out of its back and like flip up like it's got these claws in front of you. And
Gotcha.
This is what you see.
I know what that is. But Vimic doesn't. All right.
I know he had me at the tentacles. I was like, "Are you serious?"
Okay. Well.
All right, so that's now. Here's the thing.
Cool as shit.
It was waiting for you. So as soon as you turn the corner, it immediately pops one out at you as a triggered action.
Okay.
Oh, and it basically you come and you immediately just reactively like throw your maul up and you block the thing off of it. Now it is your action. So that was basically it was ambushing you, and it popped out that. So now you've got your move. So you've still got a bonus action, a regular action. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to Giant's Might.
Yes, you are.
And I'm gonna Hulk out, and then I'm gonna try to hit him.
All right, so the first thing you do is you do Giant Smite. So as you block that out, we've seen this before. You just kind of and you just get huge. Your size increases to large as the Goliath gets even bigger, and you just begin to flex. And this maul that was big before seems to be a little bit smaller in your giant hands. As now you are like towering over this thing, and now you may attack with your maul.
All right. 24.
Roll with disadvantage. I apologize.
Ooh, okay. What did that roll?
Oh, it's a 4.
Okay, it didn't.
You reach up, you drop this giant maul, and as you land right where you think it is, it goes through like an illusion, and you see the thing shift off to the side.
Shit.
It's almost as if this beast were displaced somehow.
Beast. Yes.
All right. So I guess that with that you're done, and now we go to Lorix.
I'm gonna march forward a few steps, and I can't control it still.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't mind either, but
I did that. Hang on. Character sheet. Hang on. Edit. Can be edited and controlled by all players. Let's just do all players. Save changes. How about this?
I'm going to move you.
Hang
I
on.
need to maybe.
I deleted it and I'll bring it back out.
Wow!
Is the world's biggest dwarf. All right, see if you can move it now.
Oh no, I
No?
select a move. How about this? No, I can't.
All right, just tell me where you want to go. Just ping it and I'll move it. I'll fix it later.
All right. I want to go. I'm marching up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here.
Okay. All right. So you
Let me
go.
change my color. And as I'm strutting forward, all right, let's see if you can hit me. And I cast Blur on myself.
Oh,
Nice.
Blur. All right, hang on.
Yes.
I gotta add their turn in there.
I become blurred, shifting and wavering to all who can see me.
Two can play at that game.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so so you walk forward, and it's your action. You cast Blur, and that's it for you. All right. On its turn, now it's their turn. The second one is going to leap out. Hang on, I don't need a second. Hang on. All right, so this guy here, we're going to do a copy. We're going to paste Mr. All right, it's going to leap out at you, and it's going to make its attacks with its 2 tentacles. It has 2 attacks. The first attack. Now, do I get disadvantage on these attacks because you're blurring?
You get disadvantage if its attacks rely on sight.
It does. All right, so that's going to miss. This is going to be an interesting attack. His second attack is... All right, so you play the same game it is. It lashes out. It lands to either side of you where he can't tell where you are. And with that, we go to the one attacking the Goliath, Vimic. The first attack will come at you, and it's 19 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That'll hit, huh? Okay. All right, so this is going to be 2d6 plus 4, so that'll be 12 points of damage. Anything?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm just gonna.
Stone's endurance.
Tentacle. It's
a tentacle. Yeah.
All right, so pendant flashes, and I'm just gonna throw that at the other one.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So you invoke the rune that you've got. So it comes at you. You invoke the rune. The attack somehow, instead of hitting you, it basically the tentacle comes through you, and it pops the other displacer beast way over here. So so it basically goes. It creates like this little hole that it goes through, and the hole opens up next to this other one, and it hits that one. Okay.
How much was that? 10 or 12?
12 damage. 10? 12 damage. Okay. Okay. All right. Second attack. Now that is your reaction, correct?
Yes.
All right. So second attack will come at you, and that's also going to hit you, and then we'll roll 2d6 plus 4 again, and this one will only do 9 points of damage. All right. So the first one kind of pops his friend. The second one hits you. All right. With that, we go to the top of the round, and we go to Mr.
You made it hit its friend?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right. So with that, we got to see the first Rune Knight ability. The Cloud Rune has been invoked, and now we go to top of the round, and it is again Vimic's turn.
All right. I'm going to... let's see here. I'll swing again.
Swing it. First game, first fight. It's you two versus 2 Displacers Beasts. Go!
I love it.
2.
It could be a crit, or
However,
it is with disadvantage. It is a crit! You rolled double 20s!
So what we're going to do here...
Get wrecked, Displacer Beast.
So,
that is amazing! Oh my god! Displace this! Oh my god, that's amazing. That is so
rune
good.
God, what are the odds of that? 1 in 400.
Alright, so you're going to use the fire rune now. Alright, so you're coming down with the fire. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Alright, so it's going to be 2d6 for them all, another d6 for giant strength, so that's 3d6, and then 2d6 for the fire rune, so that's going to be 5d6, all doubled, so 10d6.
What?
This is why you do a Goliath Rune Knight.
10d6. Oh, here it comes. All right.
He's level 3. He's level 3.
All right. All right, so here's the thing.
Can you re-roll 1s and 2s?
He can.
Absolutely.
All right, so re-roll 3 of those.
Oh my god, are you serious? Okay.
Yeah, so
I didn't know if I could do all.
Yeah, we're going to let it roll. And we have to take that. So it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12, 16. Now, 16 is for the first. Now roll the next. And
roll the ones and twos.
yeah. So 16 plus 11 is 27. He's got to take that, which is another 12. So it's going to be 39 plus your strength bonus of 3. 42 points of damage. Holy crap. Alright, so you go down and you hit this thing so hard, you actually end up catching it on its side. One of its tentacles is actually completely crushed under the weight of the maul. And as you pull the maul back, the part of that tentacle, you have it. It's now connected to your maul as you pulled it back. And it falls off the side of your maul. So now it's completely dismembered one of its tentacles. It reeks in like this horrible shrilling pain. Now the tentacles of the Rune Knight of the Fire Rune are now wrapped around it, and it has to make a strength saving throw on its turn to get out of it. Correct?
Yeah. At the end of its turn.
At the end of its turn, right? So it's so the shackles are around it. Now here's the thing: because it is now shackled, it's restrained. It's not moving, and now where it was moving back and forth, it is still. It's still alive, and now you exactly see where it's at because of it. It's being held still. All right, so that was your massive action. Do you want to do anything with your bonus action?
You know what? Let's do an action surge and
attack again. Hit him again. Now that he's shackled in place, hit him again.
Cancel each other.
This time, put some stank on it.
Yeah. So this isn't. Actually, hold up. It is with advantage because his displacement goes away as soon as he's restrained. So you do get advantage on the attack.
10 plus,
okay.
I think it's a 15.
It hits. All right, so next attack, roll another 3d6 plus 3 damage. God, I can't believe how hard you just hit this thing. 12 plus there's another 15 points of damage. All right. All right, so you hit it as you pull back. Those chains are holding it. You hit it again. Now it's like you basically pop the side of the head of it. It's kind of laying back. You see all of this like this purplish black blood coming off the side of it as it's kind of like you have completely knocked this thing. And you notice too, like as you're looking at it, it has like 6 legs that you didn't notice that it's got. Like in the darkness, you're kind of seeing more of its form as it's being held still. You can see it better now. But you've just knocked the crud out of this thing. With that, we're going to finish your turn. It's still alive, and we're going to go to Lorix.
Lorix is going to wrap his great sword in like this thunderous energy as I cast Booming Blade and take a swing at this fella.
Nice. All right. So the okay. So we have to get
my plus 6, so 16.
That will hit.
Awesome.
All right, so the giant great sword, you go and you swing with that. How much?
10 damage.
10 total damage. Okay.
Still two of which is cold damage.
Doesn't
my
matter.
Genie's Wrath.
Genie's Wrath. That's right. All right. So the Genie Warlock comes out, casts Booming Blade on his two-handed sword. I love the fact that we have a Dwarven Genie Warlock wearing half plate, because he's a dwarf and he can wear medium armor, and he's got a two-handed sword he can use because he's a dwarf. Casting Booming Blade. The Dwarven Warlock. I love it.
And I like that I've got plus 3, so I rolled a 4 on my damage, but I've got a plus 3 strength, and because Pact Weapon gives me a plus 1 on improved Pact Weapon, gives me a plus 1, and then my Genie's Wrath adds 2 more cold damage, so it's 4 plus 6. For 10 damage.
That's great. That's great. All right, so you go and you slash at it. You cut across it. That the booming energy cuts across of the displacer beast. You hit it. Well played, guys. All right, so now we go to the bottom of the round as the displacer.
And then I'm gonna take and after I walk in and hit him like that, I'm gonna take a few steps backward as well.
Are you gonna let him have an attack of opportunity?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You got something devious lined up. I see it.
It's a Booming Blade. That's what it is. All right, so the 7 plus 6, 13 is going to miss you. So it bounces off your half plate. So you step forward, Booming Blade, and then step back out of the way of it. I hear what you're doing. All right, its turn. All right, so on his turn, he is going to make a step forward to attack you.
D8 damage.
Take the D8 damage.
4 thunder.
4 thunder, okay. You hear this popping sound as the magical energy that you had laced it with, pops off the side of it. It goes to attack you with one of his tentacles. With disadvantage. Because you're blurring. So it's going to miss that.
Right.
And then
So blurry.
And then he's going to attack again. He can't hit you. He cannot find you. Man, that is one tanky warlock.
A couple of ones. Look at the
It's hanky warlock. I like it. All right, so now we go to the one attacking the Goliath. Now he is restrained, so the first thing he's going to do, he's going to get attacked, but it's with disadvantage because he's restrained. So here's the first attack. That 4 is going to miss. Here comes the second attack. That 1 is going to miss. All right, so y'all doing extremely well. It's fighting the chains. Now it's going to take the strength check to see if it can get out of the chains.
Well, that's to take damage.
He does. So he takes the 2d6 damage. But he
do
does.
I roll that or do you?
You roll it. You roll it. I'm sorry.
Sure.
It's your damage. Your damage was way better.
If you like your damage, you can keep your damage.
You can keep your damage. All right. So Okay, I'm trying to think. All right. So it's done. That. So now it's the top of the round. We go back to Vimic. All right. So at this point, Vimic is fighting this thing that's got these flaming chains on it. It's standing still. It can't seem to move very well. I take it back. He should have only attacked you once. I forgot he had dismembered one of his tentacles. Now it is your turn to fight the Displacer Beast.
He's still shackled, huh?
He is still shackled, so you do get advantage on the attack. You have completely muzzled the displacement of the beast.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So 3d6.
So 3d6, you're getting 2d6 for the maul, and then another d6 for the giant's might that you've got for your Rune Knight ability. And this will be +3, and you can reroll the 1. All right,
6, 4, and
so
4.
14, 17 damage. What does it look like as you? What is this? What does this look like?
Just black and purple mist as I cave its head in with the
All
maul.
right. So now that you can line up the shot, the chains are around the Displacer Beast. You pull the maul up, you drop it on top of its head. Its head just explodes like a watermelon from Gallagher. It just explodes all over the place.
Nice.
All right. So here's the thing. That is your action. The chains break and disappear. You still have a bonus action and a move action.
Let me I'm gonna second wind.
Okay, that's your bonus.
And back, yeah.
All right,
D10 plus. So 11.
Okay. Good job.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back up.
Do you want to move?
And then, yeah, I'm trying to see as close as I can get to those two fighting.
Right there. Okay. All right. So you're running that way with the bloody dragging the bloody maul behind you. All right. Now we go back to Lorix. You hear the thundering steps of a Goliath coming behind you.
Oh, excellent. I will cast Booming Blade once more.
Okay. Booming Blade. Go for it. Now this will be with disadvantage.
I missed. I missed.
Yeah. All right, so you swing and you hit where you think it is, and it's not. Now that's your action. Do you want to do anything else?
I will. I'm gonna step to the side a little bit.
Okay, just shifting.
Yeah, just shifting and
You're clearing the runway.
happy to have a little help. Happy to have a little help from you.
All right. With that, we go to its turn. It turns. It's going to try to dig both of its tentacles into you. It will get just disadvantage again because Blur is broken good. He can't He can't find you.
Blur is not quite blink good, but it's still good.
Yeah, it is really good. All right. So it's swinging at you. You're just dodging and diving and then dodging again.
That's right. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and
so
dodge.
It's trying to find you. It's flailing all over the place. It's just finding it's the displacer and your displacement. You're just fighting each other back and forth. It is completely looking at Lorix as we go back to Vimic's turn. Now, Vimic, you're charging in with your giant maul. Your action.
Let's do it. This is going to be disadvantage, right? So roll 2.
Now, here's the thing. You're flanking at this point, which will negate the 2. So it has disadvantage.
Straight roll.
It's a straight roll at this point.
It teased me with the 19 and then went over to the...
And you miss.
No!
All right, so you swing, you land. It kind of leaps over to the side as a giant maul, makes this giant divot into the ground where it was. With that, we go back up to Lorix. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna booming blade again.
Okay.
Take another swing. I got you this time. Straight roll.
Yeah, straight roll.
20.
That'll hit. Roll your damage.
It's gonna be 15 damage that time.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna take a step back. Oh,
Yes, you
sorry.
are.
Go ahead.
You take a step back. It's going to make an attack at you.
Let me go like way over here.
It cannot find you. Okay. All right. Its turn. It is going to attack the Goliath twice. Just a straight attack. It'll miss the first one. Hit the second one.
That'll hit.
Yep. And that is going to be 13 points of damage. Stone's Endurance?
Yeah, let's do some Stone's Endurance. Let's burn all the abilities.
All right, so using your reaction, roll a d12 plus your con mod to reduce the damage. So we're looking at 12 damage. You're going to reduce it by 13. So it goes and hits you. You raise up your giant bicep. You flex your muscle. It cuts across. Doesn't even break the skin.
Nice.
You got to come harder than that. All right, with that, the Displacer Beast is going to leap out of the way. It's going to leave. You will get an attack of opportunity as it is trying to escape.
D8 damage as it moves.
You didn't hit it.
Booming blade.
I
didn't.
You missed.
Oh no, I hit it last time. I hit it for 15 damage.
Oh, that's right. You did. That's right. You did. So roll your d8. I will take my 3 damage. I will take my thunder damage. All right.
All right.
Vimic, what do you got?
If I were to try to say grapple it, would I have to roll like an attack to grapple it? Basically.
Yeah. Basically, it's going to go move. It is. You basically make an attack and you try to grapple it. Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to try to swing at it.
All right. All right. So you swing and miss. All right. So it would have been with disadvantage anyway because he's now displacing because you're no longer flanking it. All right. So with that, it leaps on top of this and it's basically running across the top of the stable at this point. You get it. Turn it this way. So it's on top of the stable running this way. All right. So it's basically perched up on top. Now, that's its turn. It moved, it leapt, it's running across the top of this. We go to Vimic's turn.
All right. I'm going to leap up there and go after it.
You totally can because you're now the size of, because you're large, you're actually looking at like the roof of this thing. So you absolutely could run and leap on top of it. It will be an athletics check just to make sure you don't do anything crazy. Roll for it.
Yeah, we got pretty good bonus here. 15?
Yeah, so you run up, you jump, you land your feet right directly on two sides of like basically the beams because the top of this is kind of thatch. So as you jump up, you immediately like instinctively drop your legs and feet, your mat because you're heavy. You land your feet on basically the support beam, so you're basically jumped up behind it, and now you can make an attack.
All right.
It is displacing.
Oh, another one.
You will hit it.
Nice.
And you're still giant smiting, so yeah. Holy craps!
19.
All right, so it runs. It's getting ready to leap and leave the courtyard. You run, jump on top. You grab the maul. You bat the thing back down off the side of the stable, and it lands in the ground. And it's kind of writhing in pain as you knocked it off. It is now Lorix's turn.
All right, so since I'm full HP, right?
Yeah.
Anyone who's played Zelda knows that I have sword beams. Using my great sword pact weapon as a spellcasting focus, I cast Eldritch Blast.
Right. All right. So.
And I miss wildly.
No, you don't roll with disadvantage.
Oh, I don't roll with disadvantage.
No.
It's a +4 then. I guess I need a straight. Where I take the first one, right?
Just roll it over. Roll it over.
Yeah, rolling it over.
No, you
Hooray!
miss. You miss wildly. You shoot, and you just basically burn a giant hole in the middle of the wall there. You just like shoot right through it.
Missed it by that much. And
All
then
right.
I will approach as well.
Okay.
I'll use my full movement to get closer to him.
All right.
25.
There. All right. So you shoot the blast. You miss. You're running up towards it. With that, it's its turn. It looks, and it is going to attempt to just run. So it can get to basically right out to here. Like it's running. Actually, it can get pretty far. Hold up.
Yeah, I imagine they have pretty good movement.
Yeah, with all them 6 legs.
Yeah, they do. Well, he had to use half his movement to get up, so he can get to there. All right, so it's basically just taking off at this point. All right, so now I'll give you one round of chase before it's completely gone. Vimic, what are you going to do?
Let's see. I can't get up to melee, can I?
5, 10, 15, 20, 20. You can get to there. You can get to there. Actually, no, you were on top. So you could jump down. You can get to about there.
I'll throw a hand axe at it.
Throw a hand axe. Go for it. It is displacing.
Okay.
15 will hit. So will a 15. All right.
So
I'm saying that this is a strength check. So you get to use you're basically hucking this. It's like it's not a finesse thing that you're doing. So you do get the bonus D. So it's a D6 plus your strength modifier plus another D6 for being giant. So it's 2D6 plus 3.
11.
All right, it's running. You just Last of the Mohicans tomahawk chop this thing across, and you just it lands in the back of the spine. You hear it roar out and land to the ground. You dropped it.
You letting that thing get away?
Good man.
All right, so you drop it. As soon as you do, you look over and you see just mass chaos happening. All of the decorations that you saw coming in have wilted and fallen over, and you just see people screaming and running around. As you hear other roars, you hear these strange cackles into the night. There is mass chaos going on, and as you look up in the sky, and you see all of these giant like birds flying about the top of it and dropping down. Now, as the birds drop down, you see that they're griffins, and there are knights on the backs of them. And as they land, you see all of these knights running around with these halberds, basically like stabbing these things. Now, as Lorix, as you walk up, you know this is the guard. This is the Waterdeep Guard. The town guard, they have giant griffins they swoop down on. The other thing that you know is just north of town, there's a training ground for the city guard. And a lot of the city guard trainees actually visit Beetles around the corner pretty regularly. Nice. So there's not, the town only has one constable. They've only got one, officer per se, because there's so many city guard. Even though this is outside of the jurisdiction of Waterdeep, there's so many of them around anyway. This is like the Dunkin' Donuts. There's a ton of cops everywhere. It's like, Dunkin' Donuts doesn't need a security guard, right?
It's QT at 2 a.m.
It's QT at 2, exactly. There's always like 4 cops there, right? All right, so
that's right.
So that is the scene that's going on right now. Is you see these beasts just running around everywhere. With that, Lorix, what do you want to do?
Well, the thing's dead, right?
Yes.
Vimic, let's. I'm gonna go in and check on Miles and see if he's all right. Anything you want to do out here?
Um, does Sarah perhaps want to see the corpses? Is she that into?
I don't know. I suppose we would have to ask her. And I turn around and I start marching into the into the man.
I'm gonna drag this one over to the other one.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
nice.
So you're collecting bodies at this point. All right. So you collect the displacer beast, and you just kind of lump them over to the side. As you walk over, you do hear the groaning of the servants on the ground. You look over and you can see that they got battered really bad, but they both seem to be alive miraculously. It seems like y'all came in just in time before the displacer beast fed on these guys. As you walk around, you see the two handmaidens, Eva and Joan, are running out, and they're seeing to the two stable boys that one of them looks like he got hit by one of the tentacles and miraculously lived. The other kid looks like he fell, like he never actually got hit. He fell off the building or something in the chaos. So the two stable hands are okay. The two handmaidens are off taking care of them. As soon as y'all reach into the court, you see Miles has come back out. Now he's still inside the house, kind of like peeking around the corner, and Sarah Dwyn's kind of saying, "Miles, no, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous." He goes, and Miles goes, "It's true. It's true. He's Goliath. They're warriors. The sovereign it has a warrior." And Sarah Dwyn goes, "Shh, don't say that." He goes, "But it's true. We have a warrior, and our dwarf friend, but mainly our warrior."
But
Lorix feels kind of the same way. Yeah, you have your dwarf friend, but also this warrior.
And with that, he says, "Well, come inside. Come inside. Do we need to send to your wounds? Are you okay?" And he looks over. He's looking over the Goliath. He goes, "Doesn't look like you are hurt at all. Are you okay?"
I'm Miles. Come out with us. Let's slay some more.
"Oh no, my adventuring days, or I would say they were over, but they were never really existent. I'll stay here. We have much to discuss. What's going on in the town?"
Now what did we see? We just saw a bunch of these black cats, basically. Or was it different stuff?
You heard more of the cats. There seemed like maybe there was something else going on. There's a lot of confusion going down in the streets. But the town guard has shown up at this point in force, and there's people just all about. The police have shown up. The city guard have shown up and are dispatching of the rest. Now, if y'all want to go out and help, you can, or you can stay here and continue to feast with Miles and Saradwin.
I don't think.
Look like a man who wants to go fighting.
Yes.
All right.
I prefer the feast, but as you will.
All right. So this is a good point to do this. So I feel the characters have different agendas. The dwarf, there's drink and feasting to be had in his manor. The dwarf wants to do that. I feel, not to speak for you, but I feel that's where you're going.
I don't like working.
Right. So
I'll work. If the Goliath chooses to go fight beasts, I feel beholden to go and fight beasts with him, because that's kind of what Miles wants. He wants me to keep an eye on this Goliath, who is essentially the hero to our house at this point.
So what is the Goliath?
I think he would at least go out and just see if these knights on griffins were kind of handling things. Just kind of give a.
So with that, y'all will leave here and go back. We'll head back down to the town. So you
Lorix gives kind of a very well.
All right,
begrudgingly follows this
right,
Goliath as he goes on his foray.
So the two of you walk down into the town. You see people running around screaming. You don't see any major injuries. You see a few here and there that are like cut up or beat up. But it seems that the town fared pretty well. Between the town guard, there was you see Beetle's down at the corner, which is the big the meadery tavern. And because it's Fay Day, there were a ton of guards on hand feasting. So as soon as everything broke loose, they came out armed and ready to handle it. So it was actually probably the best possible time for something to happen because there were so many guards in the town itself. Now, as you're going around, you do hear screams coming out from your right, and you look, and there's a little hut just like if there's a one side of town where the manor is at, then you have the town. Beetles is kind of the center of it, and on the outskirts of that is like a small hut. Now, Vimic, you don't know anything about this. Now, Lorix, you do. You know who this is. There's an apothecarius that lives on the outskirts. Old widow woman, elven, kind of a hippy dippy. You don't really care for her too much. But she's screaming and running into town and saying, my son is dead. Now, you know.
It's probably those herbs she's been feeding him. Feeds him all kinds of weeds. Leaves.
Entirely possible. So anyway, she comes up is Amberwood, Miss Amberwood, Lady Amberwood. She runs up and says, "Please help!" And she runs up to the guards saying that her son is dead, and the guards are not overly concerned because they're dealing with this other thing. And then one of them says, "It's okay, ma'am. We'll go and check on it. We'll go and check on it." And one of the guards looks over and basically points to the town constable to handle this. And let me go pull him up really quick.
So are they're saying it'll be handled, but they're not really paying attention to her.
Yeah, so
they just kind of shifting her off.
So Ivan, so Constable Ivan Morn is the town constable. This is a kid. If there's an issue, if she's telling the truth, you go handle it. We're still dealing with rounding up and healing the others and whatnot. So they kind of dispatch the constable who was in the fray as well. You can see he pulls up.
How competent is Constable Ivan?
Rumor is back in the day he was pretty adept at fighting things. In his retirement, he took a job here in town. So he's like a retired adventurer, maybe a mercenary. Very gruff exterior, but likes the simple life and living here. Security here is easy. This is a desk job. It's fair.
I'm trying to figure out in my head which cop movie this is, and I realized, it's every cop movie.
It's all of them. It just whatever one you want it to be. All right. So
no, I love it though. I love it.
Well, tropes are tropes for a reason. They're great. All right. So Constable Ivan begrudgingly walks and
he's Danny Glover, is what he is.
I was about to retire. Yeah. So.
Too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this. Right. All right. So he goes. Adelina, what is all this racket? And she looks and goes, It's Maury. He was out tending the horses, and I came up to him, and his head is awful. And Ivan's head. Would he get attacked by one of these beasts? He goes, No, I don't know. Please help. And he's like, all right, lead on. So she's leading him outside of town with the constable. I
kind of hit Vimic, and I kind of gesture this way. It's like, might be interesting at least.
Yes.
Shall we?
Absolutely.
All right, so she, you're kind of following loosely behind, kind of like hearing what's going on. And it seems that they're heading up to the Amcathra estate. Now, the Amcathra is the ranch in town. They're ranchers. It's Amcathra, Amcathra. Now, the Amcathras are very well-known breeders and stables and horse. They actually breed horses and sell them to the city guard themselves. It's a huge estate. Now, Lorix, that her son Maury he's a good kid, and he works as a stable hand at the Amcathra Ranch, which is a really good job to get for a kid. And you've seen him around town. He seemed like a good, upstanding kid. No problems. Never had a beef with him. So you're kind of curious because the town, even though it's in the shadows of this massive city, everybody here knows everybody.
Right.
It's still a small town just in the shadows of this giant city. And a lot of people kind of come through, but the locals know the locals. You know this kid. So, little concerned just because you know the kid. So y'all are walking behind, and Ivan stops, and he's got a lantern out, and he looks over and goes, What's this giant thing behind me? And Lorix, is that you?
Yes, this is Lorix. This is, pay no attention to the Goliath. Vimic is his name.
I can't possibly not pay attention to the Goliath. He takes up the entire street.
I don't know what you want me to say about it. He's a rather big man.
Do you vouch for him?
I mean,
Yes, I vouch well enough for him. He's no worse than anyone else.
I mean, you know all.
Well, I'm glad. Well, come along then. Strange things, strange folk. And
I can't possibly not pay attention to you.
all right, so with that, y'all carrying on to the outside of town, you get to the ranch. As you get to the ranch, you see, in Catherine's, there's a lot of them, and you see them all moving about and moving, and getting the horses under control. It seems like one of the horses it was killed and was mauled by one of these beasts, and they're tending to it. The old man, old Hank, Henry Amcathra, this is the guy that is extremely wealthy. You would never know it because he's really, really dirty all the time because he runs a stable. Very unkept hair, burly beard, well off, just he's a farmer, he's a stable hand. So, or he runs a stable. Yeah, old Hank.
Hank.
You see old Hank, and Hank's like, oh yes, Ivan, glad we didn't disturb him. He's over here. I don't think there's much you can do, but there he is. And you look, and in the mud, you see like his body kind of laying on the side, and his head is like completely been snapped and like rolled around backwards. And he looks over, and Ivan looks and goes, must have been an attack of those Fey beasts. Well, I'll send the grave man over. And his investigation is done. And he leaves. He's dead.
I'm going to look at my new dwarven friend and ask him. I don't have too much experience with these cat beasts, but are they capable of turning a man's head?
I don't have much experience with men's heads being turned around.
I don't know if one of these cats could have done it. Maybe with a tentacle?
Let me, what is this? Arcana, history, nature? What can I roll for this?
Investigation.
Investigation. Well, let me, hate to get closer to this, but let's take a look. 19. Wait, no, I'm proficient. 21.
I know exactly what this is. Yeah.
You rolled a natty on this? Okay. You reach down and you look at his body, and you reach over and you there's still some light. People have torch lights and stuff about, and you look and you can see that there's already bruising happening around his neck, and it really looks like someone, you can tell, took his head and spun it. Someone strong, or at least knows what they're doing, walked up behind this person and snapped their neck.
It looks like human, almost.
Yeah, this was not a displacer beast by any stretch of the imagination. This was perhaps a very strong, big man. Vimic, had I not spent the evening with you, I'd be looking at you.
Down
yonder. Yes, I know. I was with you. There's no way you could possibly have done this, but...
The constable's still there, or is he gone?
He's been walked away while y'all are looking at this. You want to go?
Very
You want to go
large
and hail him?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
The bull? I forgot his name.
Ivan.
Oh, Constable.
Yes, yes.
Ivan. Mr. Ivan.
What is it?
Well, Vimic, go ahead.
This does not... This seems to be the work of a man. Here, you'll notice the bruising.
He looks up. He walks up and goes, Might be right, but who would hurt this boy?
Yeah, and is his mom still around?
No. Oh, no, she is. She came with you. And she was talking
Would anyone have heard this boy? No one would have heard this boy,
So
right?
she was over with Hank. As soon as she walks over, he goes, he was murdered! He was murdered! And Ivan goes, no, nobody is saying that. It could have still been these beasts.
No, I don't want to stir the pot. I stop myself before I say too much.
Vimic?
I'll ask
Lawrence.
her, did your son have any tussles lately with anyone? Did anyone hate him? Is there any ill will towards you or your family?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I serve the town. I'm the town healer. Who would attack my boy? And she's just hysterical.
Where was
she's hysterical. Like, I mean, she's like screaming hysterical. Like, I mean, she was upset, but now this it's kind of hitting her, and then the adrenaline of the situation has gone down. But something has happened to her boy. Something, and now it was an attack of some beast. Like someone actually was out to hurt her boy. And so she's just falling to pieces. And Ivan,
was he found here?
Yes.
Sorry.
And Hank, well, he goes, no, we didn't move him. That's where he fell.
Maybe he had he been working here the whole day? Maybe he stumbled across something, or maybe it was just wrong place at the wrong time.
I was just getting the horses. And Ivan looks over at the two of you and goes, this was going to be so easy, and now you've made me...
I got so much paperwork. Yeah.
And Ivan moves off to Adelina, Miss Amberwood, to tell her, like, okay, listen, we can figure this out. It's okay. So with that, what do y'all want to do? So you two are standing with the body. Adelina and Ivan are off to the side with Hank.
But ask my new friend here. So he worked here. He must have friends here.
Yeah, so we could hunt down some of his friends and ask.
Yes. See if there's anyone who
Would like to do that. We can also look around, see if there's anything out of place.
Exactly.
I don't know how much junior detective work you want to do here.
Yes.
Well, I will say,
Or let the constable do his job. I don't know.
Lorix, you do know that he was friends with one of the snow beetles, the younger one, Willow. Bit of a troublemaker, but she and Maury hung out a good bit.
What was her name again?
Willow Snow Beetle.
Willow? All right, we can go talk to Willow.
Okay.
If she knows anything.
Should we look around at all? Like, around here?
I think so.
As you go through the
Footsteps
town...
or footprints?
What do you want to do?
What would that be?
Survival.
Investigation?
Yeah, look.
Survival.
Look and see. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the boy's name again?
Maury.
Maury.
I ain't seen.
The problem is with all the rustling of the horses and everything, the dirt and everything is very messed up. It's very disheveled. So finding any type of tracks or anything like that is going to prove very difficult. Now, you could, at this point, the only lead that you've got is that you know that he was friends with a Willow, snow beetle, and she, the meadery is also like the home of the snow beetles. So the tavern has different levels below it that a lot of the halflings live in. So if she's not enjoying the festivities in town, she'd be in town, probably had the festivities at the tavern. So it's either going into Waterdeep to find her or heading here and finding her at the tavern. So you can try your luck either way.
Well, the tavern's right there.
Right. Okay. So with this, you guys finish up your investigation. If there's nothing else you want to do, we'll move over to the tavern. Y'all head through the town. The guards cleaning up. There's been some injuries, and they've sent off for some of the healers in town to come and assist. It doesn't look like there was any fatalities, which is a blessing. There were several animals that are missing or dead. There's a lot of sheep outside of town that just got mauled. There was a horse that died. But the people itself seem to fare okay, except for poor Maury. And as y'all head into the tavern, the doors open up, and you see a lot of people still, shaken by that. But there's still kind of this sense of, all right, it's over. Let's get back to drinking. We can't let this ruin Fay Day, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
But they're still like, hey, we're all good. The guard came in. Let's celebrate the fact that we live in a good city and we be protected. So they're still, and the snow beetles are still, you see all the halflings running around, and they're selling and handing out their mead. And, they're like, you know what? We're going to discount it. Half price drinks. And everyone's like, ah, So they're trying to get the party going back up. They're kind of like, hey, it's Fay Day. It's once a year. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
So they're kicking the bards back up. They're playing. They're trying to kind of like rally the moment. And that's the scene in the Snow Beetle Inn, or known as Beetles. So what is it that you want to do? So as soon as you two walk in, it's a speakeasy. Now, Lorix, you walk in, and everyone looks and goes, Lorix! Like, they all know you. It's like Norm coming back to the tavern. Now, behind you, Vimic, you have to kind of
I greet them with just as much enthusiasm as Norm does.
Right,
just
right.
Kind of...
Yeah, just the hand. All right. So with that, Vimic, you come in. Now, this is a tavern made by halflings to fit humans. So it's a little small for humans. For you, you're like, oh, you kind of got to crunch in and kind of bear down. And so you're kind of really hunching down inside this place. You find a place to sit, not really in a chair. It's more like on the floor at a table to kind of fit here. It's not like humans can walk around this. It's okay. It's a little tight. But it was made by halflings, and it's
part of the appeal, really.
It's like drinking with hobbits, right? So with that, you guys are at the tavern. You're enjoying your drinks. They bring you some mead. It's extremely tasty. What is it that you want to do in the tavern?
Well, as they're coming by and they bring us the drinks and saying hi to the random people that I know as we're going in. They bring us the round of drinks and set the mugs down, and before he walks off, I give him a tap and, hey, we're looking for Willow.
Willow. Oh,
yes.
She should be back soon. She was heading out to town. She could drink, enjoy yourself. She'll be here shortly.
Sure. Yeah, is she going to be here later this evening, or is she going to be in town for quite some time?
Who knows?
Should we wait here, or should we?
The longer you wait here, the more likely it is that she'll be back.
Fine. Thanks for the drink. He's halflings, I swear. Okay.
All right, so you all start drinking. The night goes on.
You make me hate halflings.
I love halflings. Why do you?
I know, and it's great.
So all of the halflings are.
The longer you wait here, the more likely. Go on, I'm sorry.
So just
made me decide realize.
It's okay. Just keep drinking. It's fun. All right. So the halflings are once they are bringing mead to Vimic the Goliath. They want to hear all about your tale. The bards are very interested to hear about you. I mean, you're quickly becoming kind of a folk hero in the town itself, just because Goliath are very rare in Waterdeep, and even more rare here. Like, we never see Goliath come through. And as they want to, the more you drink, you kind of share some of your stories, and everyone in the tavern is enjoying the merriment in the town. And it's one of those moments where as you're drinking and enjoying the Fayday festivities and everything and the music and it's lively, the party just goes on and on and on. Vimic, you're sitting at the door, you're drinking, and something kind of catches your eye, and you look and you realize that the sun is coming up, that you have been drinking all night, and it's just time just has flown by. You had a late start, everything happened in the night, then you got here, and the next thing you know, the sun is coming up, and the party is still going strong. There's some people passed out on the floor, but that's normal, So, I mean, but y'all have been partying and drinking all night, and you're not like you're hammered. You're feeling good. The Goliath can hold his drink. The dwarf, I mean, hey, he's been drinking since he was a baby, so it's not a problem. Y'all just been drinking all night. But the sun is coming up at this point.
Vimic, did I ever tell you the story of the fish that it was about? I'd say it's about the size of you. I never caught the guy, but I had him on my hook once.
So you've spent the whole night getting to know each other, telling story, and trying to best each other. Who's got the better story? It's been a great night for the two of you to get together and to drink, waiting for this Willow who, she didn't show up, whatever. It's no big deal. But as sun comes up, there's a shadow that is cast as the sun is coming up, and it's kind of like cascading in there. An individual shows up, and you see this shadow like cross over into the room, and you see like this very large individual wearing like a duster and like one of these like tri-rim hats like a sailor would wear, and you just see like the silhouette of this person is just massive person, kind of, and it's I think of like the Old West sliding doors. He kind of opens the doors and he looks around, and now Vimic, you are sitting closer to the door, and you look at this strange fellow, and he's got like a green face, and he's got this big pipe, and he opens the doors and he kind of draws back on the pipe. Now, as he draws back on the pipe, the embers in his pipe it kind of like lights up, and you see like this greenish hue on his face. And he looks around and he goes, "Well, I hear there's been a murder." And standing in front of you, you notice he's large because he's a turtle wearing this massive like duster, and he pulls back and he goes, "Yes, there's been a murder. I've been summoned here. The name's Walker. Barnabas Walker."
No.
And with that, we will end the night, and we'll pick up next week.
Can I make one comment? I was wrong about the halflings thing. Trevor doesn't make me happy. I realize now it's Trevor that I hate.
So next week we will pick up where y'all have just met Barnabas Walker, the marshal that has come in to investigate the murder of Maury. And with that, we will pick up
Walker Barnabas Ranger.
No,
he's multi-class.
No, he's Walker Turtle Ranger. Get it straight.
Oh no!
All right, so next week we'll pick up for episode 2 of Rise of the Sovereign as we meet Barnabas Walker Turtle Ranger.
No.